Hello and a massive warm welcome to today's video. It's a Meet the Experts, eXp-UK's feature where I'm going to see one of our partners. Today we're travelling up from the sunny Fylde Coast all the way up to North Lake District where we're going to meet one of our partners, a guy called Ian Rose. Now at the time of filming this, Ian's been with us for less than 6 months, so he's fairly early stages in his business, but absolutely setting it on fire up there in the Lake District. So we're going to unpack what he's been doing, get to grips with his business, his successes, his challenges, and find out more about the man that's making waves in the North Lake District property market. Let's get in the car, get a coffee, hit the road and see what he's got to say. I just need to get some petrol, mate. Yeah. It's a good job business is good, mate, because this fuel's costing an absolute fortune to go up to the Lake District to sell some more houses. Watching the money just rolling away. Morning Squire, just to let you know, we've just fueled up, about to get on the motorway now, so I'll be with you as soon as I can. Just a reminder, mate, send me the postcode of the property, or if you want the coffee shop that you want to meet at, wherever you think's best. I'm just going to head generally towards Cockermouth. So just send me the postcode when you can, and I'll see you in the next hour and a half, 2 hours or so. Cheers, mate. Is it Cockermouth or Cockermouth?
We moved into a new house when we were kids, and it was like we used to just run into the biggest room we could find. We were like, I'm having this room, this is mine.
Mate, well we got the keys on a Friday, right? And then it was Becky's birthday on the Saturday. Sorry, no, my little boy's birthday on the Saturday, then Becky's birthday on the Sunday. So we booked an Airbnb, and we didn't tell the kids that we'd got the keys, so they didn't know that we'd completed on the house. And then on Sunday, when we was coming back from the trip, we were just like, oh, we'll just stop off at the house and we'll just see, you know, if they've got the fences up or whatever. It's not that long before we move in now. And obviously we got to the front door, we unlocked it, and like, it was like, oh my God. So we went in, and they went in for the first time, mate. And that's exactly what they did. They sprinted upstairs, and it was like first dibs on the bedrooms, but we've already got it sorted who's got what room, so I had to kick them back in chat. But everyone's quite happy, mate. It's the first time in the whole lives that the boys have had their own bedrooms, and they're getting to an age now, mate, where they really need it, so it's a good time. Let's go. Always ideal when you go to the most expensive service station in the whole of the Northwest. Offer to get your cameraman a coffee, and he goes for extra shots of caffeine and caramel syrup. I can tell you're not paying, George. Sausage roll. So we're about halfway up on the trip to meet Ian. Just stopped off for a couple of coffees and just soaking in the scenery, and I just thought I'd kind of take this opportunity to introduce you to a new concept that I'm bringing to eXp. Now it's called the 5%. Now what this effectively is like a group that I'm putting together for agents that are or that aspire to be in the top 5% of agents in their market, wherever they are in the world. So I want to pull together a load of support, a load of resources, tangible things that are going to help people build a business, as well as coaching, regular masterminds, more regular Zoom calls, days such as today where we catch up in person and work one-on-one and capture content. And the 5% is something that I'm putting in place for the agents that I'm partnered with at eXp. So as part of joining eXp, whatever agent, you know, joins with whoever they name as sponsor, they get access to all of the eXp tools, resources, the support, the structure to help eradicate a lot of the risk and cost involved with growing an agency. But partnering with me or Ian or any one of my partners here at eXp, you all get access to the 5%, which is just an extra something to help you accelerate your business and hopefully help you make more money from property. So I just wanted to introduce you to that, because the podcast that we're going to be filming with Ian today is going on the 5% podcast. So make sure that you check that out on Spotify or Apple or wherever you prefer to listen to your podcasts. Anyway, back to the coffee today, back to the road. We've got a lot more driving to do, and looking forward to introducing you to the man himself. Right, mate, what have we got? About another 40 minutes, 45 minutes, something like that. All set. Cockermouth, here we go. It's saying, mate, it's saying 56 minutes still.
Where are we going?
Cockermouth. 50, yeah, 11:30 arrival. what, I don't mind driving, but I despise being stuck in traffic. Like, there's nothing worse. And around these parts, you're always stuck behind a tractor, by cattle, by slow drivers, learner drivers, wagons. But there's always something on these little narrow roads in them. Stuck in traffic in worse places, it's not a bad place to be stuck. Open fields and trees and cattle and livestock, pumpkins in the field. God, it's like I'm driving through a storybook. Look at that. Wow. You get to a certain age, don't you, where you start to appreciate a good view and a good surrounding. Like, a few years ago I wouldn't have been bothered about any of this, but now I'm like, wow, like sheep, country lanes, trees, nature. What a pleasure it must be to work up there. How's it going, mate? Mate, it took me ages to find this. Just been driving around every single house in the village.
They're behind this.
Good to see you, man.
It has been.
But mate, it's beautiful around here. It's saying like as we was driving in, like I come to the lakes all the time, but never this far north.
Wait till you see this now. Honestly, the views at the back.
Really? Did it sell itself?
This honestly, this was on the market with another agent, and they sold it, but then it just sat on the market for ages. Like sat, you know, through.
Not progressing.
Not progressed anywhere.
But so the owner got peed off.
Got absolutely peed off. No advice, no nothing to apply it. I met up with him, he's from London.
Right.
Proper city guy. We got on well. Gave it to me. So 2 weeks. I'll show you upstairs, look at this.
Oh mate, I love it. Look at all that exposed stone, mate. I'm such a geek for houses like this.
So you've got downstairs, basically it's a full edifice. Look at this with the stone. It's just beautiful.
How old is it?
This is like probably it's late 1800s. It used to be like a dairy, so they used to milk cows in here and all sorts.
Mate, I know obviously if it's not completed we won't talk about what it's sold for, but what was it on the market for?
It was on for offers over 425.
40, mate, you get so much for your money, don't you?
Oh, just look at this.
Mate, the space. I mean obviously like I probably want to change a few bits like decor wise, but the space that you've got.
So the guy, this is the original conversion. He did this in the owner who owns it now, he did this in 84. Since then it's obviously liquor paints and the kitchen's relatively new, but everything else was done in the 80s.
Can you imagine what you could put in? Like, vaulted ceiling, like the depth, the fucking stone, the fire, it's beautiful. Wow! Mate, look at that! Wow! Offers over 425.
Imagine waking up to a coffee, you've got your table on here, table, chairs, coffee here.
George, bring the drone.
Yeah.
Fruit trees.
And stuff. If you did this as a holiday ledge, it's amazing.
Can you hold it like that?
This is
Like the house is impressive, but this is
this is it.
there's much to sell in, doesn't it?
Yeah. People would knock that, you know, some people would knock it down, build again, but you're buying it for that. It's beautiful.
Worth the drive, eh, George?
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah. You get so much more for your money. I was telling George before about, I don't think it was this one, but you put a property, and I remember saying like, oh, how much was that? And it was like 300 grand or something. I was like, because you think Lake District, you think Ambleside, and you compare the two prices. Like we were looking at buying an Ambleside, and then I started researching. I was like, if I want a 2-bed, 800 square foot terraced house that needs a full refurb, at least £500,000 quid in it.
This is crazy, you know. So if you come out the national park, what you get for your money is just insane. Like literally just a tiny bit off it, just come a tiny bit out, and you get loads more for your money. But yeah, if this was done up, this would be 700 grand this, done up, in good condition.
See, the thing is though, like even if, because all the walls are exposed stone, you wouldn't change that anyway, would you? It's just a case of putting new kitchens in.
That's it, it's kitchens, bathrooms, carpet, it's cosmetics and kitchens and bathrooms, isn't it? But yeah, it's not a bad little property, this one. I've got 14 going through at the moment.
Mate, not bad. Like buses, aren't they?
And now it's a case of every day I wake up, literally I'll get a message saying, oh hi Ian, I met you here and so come and do an evaluation.
Yeah.
You know, you sold so and so. It's just seeing you sold boards.
That's the thing, mate, like, it's sort of like, well, I guess it's still always going to be there to a degree, but there's a lot of pushing and a lot of trying to make noise to get instructions, but then once you've got like a few results, a few boards up, a bit of social proof, clients singing your praises, just gets an awful lot easier, doesn't it, to start?
It does, it really does. For me, things are really starting to come together now.
Yeah.
It's,
mate, I can see that. Like I messaged you, like whenever it was, like 6 weeks ago, 2 months ago. It's like every time we jump onto LinkedIn or Facebook, it's like Ian Rose just listed.
just selling them. I think I've sold five this month already.
What volumes are you dealing with? What have you got on the market? Like, are you doing?
Do you know what, mate? I've hardly got anything now. I've sold them all. I've got the new one in Keswick that I've just put on. Massive weight. It's on for 700 grand. I brought that on Monday. So I went there Friday, put it on the weekend. I've got a building in Whitehaven. It's not going to shift unless we tweet the price, but he's not realistic. He's from down south.
Right.
He's
bit out of touch with what?
He's really out of touch. He thinks because of what it is, it's worth it, and it's like, well, he's comparing London to concrete, and it's like, you can't do that. You've got to compare it to what it is. So unless he comes down, I'm not going to get rid of it. But I've got that one in Whitehaven. It's a building. I've got the one in Bassenthwaite. I've got a big one over in low scales, which is like a 4-bed semi. It's also barn conversion, and then.
Mate, it's not a bad place though. Like if what you're bringing on is, this is the thing. Like it's nice to see like our portfolio of listings, but you want to turn them over as fast as you can. It's like that thing that like your pipeline builds and you get used to seeing a massive pipeline, and then when it completes, like you're buzzing to get the money in the bank, but it's like, oh, the pipeline's coming out.
Wait, you've got to get the money in.
The same with listings, but man, you absolutely crushed it. You only did 6 months.
6 months.
Pretty much on the nose, really, isn't it?
Yeah. I've got loads coming on this month. I've got quite a few building. Do you know that big new build I had? You saw the big called the Fylde Views. I've got another one in the development coming on, and it's coming on like either next week or first week in November. So I've got that coming. I've got a bungalow in Brigham coming off like 300s. They're all decent fees. And I don't charge 1%. I charge more. I'm not doing 1%. It's not my cup of tea. Soon I'm going to up it anyway, but I'm above 1%. But I need to put it up a bit more.
Makes such a difference, mate. But like, I think every agent goes through the transition though, and I was saying like, when you just want to get some traction, you're almost not thinking about commission because you just want to get the instruction, don't you? But when you start making those tweaks and adjustments, it makes such a difference to the bottom line, especially now as you're starting to cash flow. You see the money coming in and you're like, great, but I could have done like
percent. It's well worth it.
And this is the thing, mate, like I don't think the customers, like if a customer wants to work with you, right, you've sold the neighbour, you've been recommended, you quoting 1.5 plus or 1.5 included, they're not. It really isn't.
It really doesn't make a difference, and usually like if they have questions, it's you a bit more than the local agents. So yeah, but I offer a lot more than the local agents, so you get what you pay for.
Mate, exactly. It's just a demonstration of value, I guess, isn't it? As cliche as it is. Are they 2 bedrooms up there? I've been wondering. I keep peeking.
Feel free. It's just mezzanines. So you've got a mezzanine up there and a mezzanine up there. But have a look. It's pretty cool from up there. Whether it's true or not, I don't know. The vendor said to me, "Did you notice the bottle in the wall?" And I said, "What bottle in the wall?" And anyway, I noticed. So to get rid of the witches, keep the witches out.
What is it? A bottle?
Yeah, apparently it's a bottle. You can't see it on this side.
Right, so it's just the bottom
pushed in.
What, so was that like an old wives' tale? That's how you deter witches?
Yeah, apparently so. I have no idea. I'm not into witches. And then you got swallow nests. Got one in here as well. Swallow nest. Swallow nest.
Oh yeah. Mate.
Look how well that's in that.
I tell you what, they don't make bottles like that anymore, do they?
No, that will not come out.
That is in there for the rest of the time.
So there you go.
Christ.
That's the house, really. That's it.
Mate. Right, so today, guys, we're going to sit down and do a podcast conversation, but this is probably going to be like a 20, 25, 30-minute conversation, so a little bit long for today's short feature. We're going to cut this conversation out, but if you are interested in delving into more about Ian and how he's built his business and how he's found his transition into EXP, then I will link the full recording to the podcast somewhere in and around the video, so be sure to check that out. Okay, so as we casually step out of this wonderful house, conveniently past this sold sign, which wasn't planned or staged at all, mindfully in that not everyone's going to tune into that. What was a 50-minute podcast, so two estate agents sit down for a 15-minute conversation, it turns into an hour before you know it. Tell us a little bit about your background.
So, estate agency for probably about, give or take, 15 years now. Worked for some of the bigger corporates, LSL, Purplebricks, worked for some independents, been self-employed, been employed, and now obviously I'm self-employed again. So yeah, I've done all the roles, been the regional director, done it all. Now I work for myself.
So we're here now, you've been building a business for 6 months. Talk me through some of the one biggest challenge and one biggest win that you've had over that half a year or so.
So biggest challenge is probably getting that first instruction. I'd probably say that was my biggest challenge. It was sitting there thinking, you know, when am I going to get my first instruction? Is it going to come? And I suppose the challenge was actually, is this going to work? I suppose I was a bit worried if this doesn't work, then I'm going to have to go back to employed. So the biggest challenge was sort of, where does the first instruction come from, and is this actually going to work? Am I going to make this a success? Biggest win is probably where I am now. I would probably say is where, you know, I've been doing it for 6 months. I've put in plenty of hard work, and the win is that I can actually see that it's all coming to place and money's starting to come now. I'm not as stressed because I know there's money. The instructions are flowing. The reputation's been built, so people know who I am. So the biggest win is to see my name above the door, and just it's actually happening. That's the win. When I worked for the agency that I worked for before I came, obviously joined EXP, the market that I worked in was sort of a niche upper end market, quirky, unique sort of farmhouses and all sorts of. So I was quite lucky that I went and worked for that business. So I gained that experience, and then once I gained that experience of doing that, it was just a case of speaking to people about what I'm able to do, that I've done it before, and once they knew sort of what I've done, my experience, and I got the first one and I sold it, and I got the second one and sold it, they put the trust in me, and I proved that I can do it.
But like tangible steps. So when anyone who's looking at this now thinking, oh, I'm rattling around at smaller fees, or I'd love to work with houses like what Ian's selling, like what did you do? Did you knock on the door? Was it?
So it was for me personally, it was more about sending letters.
Got you.
It was a lot of sort of writing letters. Handwritten letters is how I do it. I know some people don't do handwritten, but I do handwritten letters. Sending lots of letters, plenty of rejection, and you know, eventually the first one came, and then the second one came, and then the third one came, and once people sort of, and it's the same in any market, once they know you're able to do that job and you can sell these type of houses, and you know, they'll just naturally come to you, or when you go to them, they'll listen to you and they'll be like, well, yeah, this guy can do it, so why not?
Building that trust.
Yeah, exactly.
How are things looking in the future? What does the pipeline look like? When are you next going to bank cash? Like, how have you survived, and where are we at?
So we've survived on savings. Is how we've survived. So yeah, we survived on savings. We basically took a step back with certain things. So we had nicer cars, and sort of we got rid of them, and sort of, you know, made some difficult sacrifices, because I do like a nice car, as I'm sure most people do. So it was hard choices that we said we would do to make it work. And yeah, we've lived off savings, and we've cut back on certain things. But yeah, those are the things that we did to make it work because we wanted it to work. And literally on Thursday of this week, I'm going to see my first 2 completions come through.
Yeah,
so there you go. Finally, we're going to get some money in the bank, which is great. So I've got my first 2 going through on Thursday. They've already exchanged. We're just completing on Thursday. And then I've got another one which is going to go complete on the 28th of this month. So I'll have my first 3 in this month. And there's quite a few bubbling away that are probably going to go through next month. So now it's just
starting to catch fire.
Yeah, it's going to, every month there'll be at least a couple going through. So and that's it. So,
mate, I love that you wanted to improve the lifestyle for your family. You saw an opportunity, as scary as it was to move across country. You bit the bullet, you started your own business, you went into an uncomfortable situation with young mouths to feed, and now you're starting to see the benefits of all that hard work. So mate, I just want to say you deserve every penny that you make. Pleasure being in business with you, mate, and well done on the success.
Thank you so much.
Do you know what I thoroughly enjoyed today? Like, genuinely, like, I feel privileged that I get to go out and about across the country and meet and greet and speak to so many fantastic agents that we're partnered with. And you know, one thing that stuck out for me about speaking to Ian is, one, just the pure guts that he's shown in taking a risk and backing himself, in moving location to a different part of the country, which is scary in itself, but also for having the tenacity and the patience to, you know, go for his dreams and build a better future for his family. I don't think you can help but be inspired and admire that kind of action. But also how, you know, the business that he's built isn't from any remarkable action. It's got there just by doing the basics well, doing the basics consistently, being patient. You know, you might recall he's not even made a penny yet. He's still yet to cash flow. Hopefully that's about to change over the next week or 2. But you know, he's shown all the fundamental skills that's needed to build a business. And when it boils down to it and you take away all the smoke and mirrors, those basic fundamentals are just patience, an appetite for it, and the ability to keep pushing forward when you don't feel like it. And sometimes there's nothing more remarkable to the equation than those 3 things. Anyway, thanks for watching today. I hope that gave you an insight. I'm pulling onto a street now where I can see my children kicking a ball around, so I think it's time to end this video, and I'll see you on the next one.